So I have two very different questions. The first one is, did you make any adjustments at all in your performance for the difference between being on stage and being on film?
The question is, did I make any adjustments between being on stage and being on film? The day I was filmed, I was on stage. So the answer is I did not make any adjustments because I was on stage. I mean, I know the virtue and the value of a close-up and the need for a still face and a clear mind. Still face, clear mind, and the camera moves in. But basically, at that point in the development of the character,
I don't think you adjust. I think that's how you were doing the show.
It's just how
I did.
It's how I did the show that day. No.
Now the second question is more theoretical, I guess, but I remember thinking this when I saw the play, which I think I saw twice, about the nuclear bombs. Is this something that is documented, or is this still a myth?
The way the Israelis have handled that is they have never diplomatically admitted to it. But it is, and not only that, Dimona has now moved. There's another place where any weapons are kept. The nuclear secrets were given to them by the French primarily, and they had them by right before the 1967 war. Things had already, so they had much more confidence in their ability to survive. But the Samson theory is in practice. I think we all know that if Israel, God forbid, ever went down, it would take quite a bit of real estate down with it, surrounding itself of its enemies. However, go ahead, David.
I was going to add, there's a famous article that the playwright derived this rewrite to make it a one-woman show. It's called The Samson Option. It's online. It was in the New Yorker. And Hirsch won a Pulitzer for many articles. And this one was, he found the notes. I mean, he found notes, he found diaries. There's enough evidence that he concluded this is how Israel did not lose the 73 war. But it's not like, what, collusion or conspiracy? It's not there. It's not proven, but it's very likely, according to Hirsch, that article.
Yeah, right there.
How did you remember all these lines?
How did I remember the lines? What you do when you're memorizing a text is you get underneath the text so that the lines are just the result of an unavoidable impulse that starts in the body. It causes a disequilibrium in the body. The body hasn't even found speech yet. So I'm looking at you, and it's coming up now, and I say, for me, it's 12 midnight, right? Because I came in from New York, so we're 3 hours later. So I feel a little tired. My eyes are a little bit saggy. I want to be perky for you. I want to, be connected to you. But in fact, there is a feeling of slight, not that I could use sleep, but that I'm a little jet lagged from lack of sleep. So that's how you memorize a text. You don't just go, I'm old, I'm sick. You figure out, how are you old? Well, my left knee isn't what it used to be. How are you sick? And you start digging. I'm now playing this 90-year-old diva who comes back to Broadway and she can't remember her lines. And it's her relationship with her young homosexual prompter, a male person. And she says, I was one of 5 children. I was the youngest one. My daddy was a dairy farmer, but he drank a lot. My mama, she died when I was just a baby. So, thank God, my mother, Lily, lived to 103. My father was not a dairy farmer. He was a litigator. But you have to find the triggers that make those things inevitable. That makes it inevitable so that when the actor's any good, it looks like the actor's writing the script, not just performing the script. And that's how you memorize. And it's a deep process. It's a deep process. So it took me a bit. I was scared that I wasn't going to get it, But you know what? We got it. We got it. We got it. You good? Anybody over here? Oh, it's just, yeah. Yes.
We could repeat your question too, but we could. There's Hillary.
The 80s, I can't remember exactly which year, 84, something like that. The film came out with Ingrid Bergman, and it was her last film about Golda
Woman Called
Meir.
Golda.
Recently screened it, and I was pleasantly surprised that it holds up in many ways.
Yeah.
So I wondered if you had seen it prior to your doing.
I saw
doing
that,
the
and I
play.
saw another play called Golda, which was a massive play with 30 characters with Anne Bancroft, who was the leading actress of choice for William Gibson. She did Miracle Worker, she did Two for the Seesaw, and then for about 3 weeks on Broadway, it was a big flop. But flop or not, I think every child in Hebrew school was brought to see it, because I saw Anne Bancroft do it without the fat suit, just like, it's got, and it was a different play. I did heavy research, and I thought Ingrid Bergman was marvelous, except da-hee, da-hi, da-hoo, da-hee, da-hi, da-hoo, da-hoo, da-hee. I don't think the accent was spot on. It wasn't.
And it
She's
completely.
from a Scandinavian kind of Golda. Yeah, she go to dairy.
Now, you had the Midwestern accent.
But
down
I thought she
well.
was wonderful. Leonard Nimoy was wonderful in the very difficult part of her husband.
I just wondered, completely different, is if Golda were living today, do you have any sense of what she would be thinking in terms,
She'd be in a
especially of
tough
the
spot.
current prime minister?
Anwar Sadat, unless I'm off the air, Anwar Sadat asked for some kilometers of land on the other side of their border, on the Israeli side. And she said, today they want part of the Sinai, and tomorrow they'll want Tel Aviv. She wouldn't give him an inch of land, and the 73 war happened. It happened. It happened. It was tough. Boys were dying in their underwear. I mean, they got wrong information. When Golda was, she would say, "Wake me night or day if I lose a boy. Wake me night or day if I lose a boy." And she would go to these funerals, and they would yell, "Murderer." That she was, and she said, I haven't commanded tank battalions recently. I kept asking my generals, why are the Russians leaving Syria? Why are the Russians leaving Egypt? And the Kol beseder, Golda, no problem. It's the wrong info. People make mistakes. It's the wrong info. Fortunately, I'm in a profession where it's not military or medical. So I am the icing on the cake of your life. I am not responsible for your life or death, thank God. But certain people take on that mantle. And I say chapeau, I take my hat off to those individuals with that kind of courage. Hi, Katie.
Where was this film all the time? Where did you find it? Do you look for it, or did someone say it's there, but where is it?
It was
was the
a couple of requests for it, but it was the reason the union, the actors union gave permission for it.
But where did you find it? In other words,
Oh.
Katie wants to know, what was it, in a vault?
So it was shot by her brother-in-law, and he sent me the little tapes. It was the dawn of the digital age, so it's still zeros and ones. It was originally shot to guide Scott and you as you moved it from off-Broadway to Broadway. That's why the union said okay. Union doesn't say yes. I mean, now everything is shot. Hamilton was shot with 14 cameras and so on. But so he sent it to me in New York. I took it to a lab that, it's too technical. And then we cut it on a home Macintosh, which is how you make a movie these days. Yeah. You can. And here it is. And I think I discovered one thing that made me want to do it was that I learned there were so many great Jewish film festivals that had arisen in the last 10 years. And also that streaming services existed. So that I thought, well, maybe now it might have a life. And I tell you, the performance is extremely fresh. And I think it's going to have quite a life in the cloud. Not as a DVD. It's just going to live up there for a while. Like forever. That's what I think. Okay.
Anything? Yes, right there.
It was a great show. Your shows bring up a question in my mind that we saw how Israel was so much needed American help at that time, and you have to like everyone for help, even send weapon they had like probably hours. Now we have a president that helped Israel so much. I cannot understand what American Jews are so much kinder to Hussein Obama and so much against our president that helping Israel so
You're
much.
right, but you have to separate. You can't let yourself be beholden to one issue. If Trump is what Trump is, but there's one nice dividend, which is what he does for Israel, it doesn't mean you support Trump necessarily because you love Israel. You can be glad that something good is coming out of this horror, that is this presidency, but sorry, that's my feeling. I got the mic.
Okay, so now.
One more question.
Okay.
That's not political.
So we can take one more question.
That's not political.
That's not political. I picked up. Over
Yes,
here.
I'm going to let her over here. This guy should Oops, thanks, you got it.
Hi, not political, but my daughter and I are great fans of yours. Once again, in every iteration that you act, you just always amaze us. And I wanted to ask if the mother on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is informed by your own mother or yourself. I mean, of course, Where's the Bathroom, which you just were singing, is my theme song now. I've grown into it. So do you mind giving us a few little words about that?
Rachel Bloom went to Tisch, which in New York City, and she must have a love for the Broadway actor, because I just got the call from my agent. Did I want to play the mother in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend in the first season? And the first season was marvelous. The first scene I did for her was in the stirrups in my gynecologist's office. So I'm glad by this time my mother was dead, because I think Lil would have just said, "What is going on here?" She was from the Bronx, and my father, Sidney, was a litigator, and he spoke like this. So I said, "Dad, is this the way you spoke when you were a baby? Did your mother go lullaby and good night?" Anyway, Rachel Bloom cast me in this, and I was very grateful. And then I got this 5-page solo that arrived in New York, and I was told I was going to record it in Studio A of Columbia Recording Studios, where Sinatra and Garland, did their recording here in Hollywood, and they flew me to Hollywood, and with a complete orchestra. Where's the bathroom? Where's the bathroom? I need to find your bathroom. Tell me that you have a bathroom in this hovel. You call home. I don't know which was bumpier, the plane ride or the taxi. All these freeways are a nightmare. Where's my purse? I need my comb. By the way, you're looking healthy, and by healthy, I mean chunky. I don't mean that as an insult. I'm just stating it as fact. I see your eczema is back. Anyway.
I don't think we can top that. And
That's
I'm
right.
really, really glad that somebody asked that question, because we really wanted you to give us a little excerpt from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.